myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss.
Pacers were going to make the playoffs. It didn't end so well for you, brother.
If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walk the mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool.
You fell asleep at the trade deadline when we had a trade to get Kyle Lowry out of here.
They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes. They gonna take
this is what we gotta tell.
I've been doing this.
I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I pay for the cost. I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose. I'm built to win. Apply myself. I filled it in. No time for the doubt. They counted me out. I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss. I'm paying the cost. I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
They did.
Amen.
Hold on. We got to do it one more time because this is an FJA episode.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It messed up.
Man, I'm a little upset at the topics we got lined up for today because I kind of want to match what Unfazed did last night. You know what I'm saying? I kind of match a little bit of their energy. Talk about Saquon not starting, but for everybody that's tuned in right now, welcome back to another episode of Refuse to Lose. And I see we got like 13 people here, maybe 14, maybe 20. If you are tuned in, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and share this with someone so we can keep this conversation going. As you can see, I got CTC, but as I say on X or Twitter or Twex, whatever I want to call it today, is Mr. Carl Knows College. My man Bold prediction has been spot on. I know the record has been almost evening out, but you got more wins than losses. So what's up, Carl?
23-17, looking like 24-17 if Texas State could hold on.
Hey, they trying. So outside of that, how's everything, man? How's it been going? How you doing?
Hey, man, everything is good, man. First of all, shout out to my boys. We play Ohio State tonight, 8 o'clock. So that will be on my phone when 8 o'clock hit. Sorry, Tomo. But Ravens, we're going for the division tomorrow. But I'm ready to get this episode started.
All right. And if you haven't read the thumbnail and you just clicked on it, you already know the topics we're going to talk about today. But if you don't know about the topics we're going to talk about today, I'm going to tell you about them. We got to react to Jimmy Butler, man. He was watching Inside Out too when he lost his joy. So we got to go find him. And we got to talk about the Steelers. We got to talk about should they bring Justin Fields back. I mean, we already know what George Pickens did when he threw the shicey back on with the interview. Then the NFL season is over. For some teams, it's been over 4 weeks ago. Fantasy football is now over. So we're going to ask about disappointed NFL teams. Not your fantasy football team, Teddy. I mean, your fantasy football team folks out there. Then we got the biggest Pro Bowl snubs. And we also got to do our weekly upset of the week. I was looking at the spreads earlier too, Carl. This is going to be very, very interesting how we're going to do this one. Because
I don't know.
Vegas is here to get paid, man. But outside of that, make sure y'all hit us up in the comments because we're going to keep this conversation going. Right now we see, okay, PSU going to the chip.
I hope so. I'd rather them than Notre Dame.
I'm not going to lie. I'm with you on that one. Because Georgia definitely let a lot of people down, but you also called it when you were here. You said they weren't going to make it, and look at what happened.
I ain't said they were going to win it. I did think they was going to go to the Natty. I ain't think they was going to win it.
There we go. So they didn't. That's what it was. But they didn't even make it. See, Georgia did what the Falcons were supposed to do when the Commanders got there. Don't even give them no hope. Just end it. There's still hope out there. So with that being said, it's Friday. If you turned in right now, we're going to get this episode going. But before we do that, Joe's not here, and my brother Dave is not here right now, but we still gonna turn up.
Turn me up.
And with that being said, we're gonna roll right into the first topic of the day. So NBA is here. Shout out to the HOA. It's funny that the HOA is here, and we gotta talk about NBA. We're gonna talk about Joyless Butler. And I know you're probably like, what do you mean by that? I got a clip right now. So right after the Miami Heat take another loss, Jimmy Butler had some interesting things to say in this post game.
I want to see happen. I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball. And wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon. But I want to get my joy back. I'm happy here, off the court. But I want to be back to somewhat dominant. I want to hoop, and I want to help this team win. Right now, I'm not doing that.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
So he didn't really allude to a trade. Well, he didn't say the words verbatim, but he kind of alluded to it. Carl, what's your reaction to that?
I don't care. That's my reaction. I promise you. Jimmy Butler is my favorite. Not my favorite. Is one of my favorite players. Excuse me. My favorite is Damian Lillard. One of my favorite players in the league. But like this again, come on, man. This is the second year in a row. Like I just don't care. Like at this point, trade him or not, I don't care. But like let's stop making the news. And I think it's around the same time as last year. Now, granted, it wasn't to this level, like him basically asking for a trade, but like, bruh, is 1 minute he's happy, the next minute he's not. 1 minute he's cool with being the villain, and now he want to go play somewhere else. I like at this point, just do it or don't. At this point, like I just genuinely don't care anymore. That's honestly my reaction. Should they do it? Honestly, yes, I think so. Because if he don't want to come back, I think this is last year. I'm not sure, but I think this is last year. This is last year. If you don't want to come back, then you'd rather get something for him than let him walk. But they already said they're not doing it. So you complaining not going to change nothing. So just in conclusion, do it or not, I do not care.
I can't agree with you more. This is one of those situations where here we go. It's kind of like here we go again. We thought you found a situation that was going to make you happy because it's almost, I don't want to say it's similar to what happened with the Timberwolves because I think he just got tired of ownership at that point. I think with the 76ers, it was just like, are you all going to bring me back on that? And if Dave was here, he can probably correct me on this one. I think that's kind of what happened with Miami is you're not getting me no help. And I don't think you all are trying to pay me that extension. I think you got a $55 million like player option. I think it's a player option. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat.
Because I'm not.
But yeah, if it's a player option, then I can definitely see why he's saying the joy is not there. He's like, look, man, I done took this team to the finals. You don't give me no help, and you still not trying to pay me. All right, it's not fun anymore. But also the roller coaster of emotions I can see from the front office, like you said, is like, well, you didn't want to be here. You said you want to be the villain. Which one is it? Do you want to stay or do you want to go? So I'm also mad at how he went about it.
$52 million player option.
There we go.
52 million play option. So he was close. He was basically there.
All right, cool. So it was a play option. So that right there is like, well, what are you all going to do? Because I have the option, and they're not going to do it. So if the Miami Heat give him the $52 million, who they going to bring in? Because they acting like the Dallas Cowboys when it comes to cap space. They're like, well, if we don't got no money because we paid you, how we going to do this? So, Jimmy, I hope they do trade you for your sake. And in Miami, I hope you trade him somewhere where you can get some valuable pieces back. Because if you just trade Jimmy Butler off to a team where he wants to be and you get nothing back in return, then you both are kind of like, eh. So for me, I want to ask you this, Carl. What would be a potentially good spot for him to go?
See, that's the thing. Because a good spot for me, for him to fit, would be Golden State. Now, what can they get back from Golden State? That's the tricky part. But ultimately, I think him and Golden State, even him in Milwaukee, would be two good destinations. I just don't know what he can get in return. I mean, the Heat would get in return from those destinations.
That's the tough part. Yeah, because right now they're sitting at the 6th seed, and the East is kind of tight from, let's say, from 5th on down. I mean, well, from 5th all the way up until you get to Toronto. And the team that they can get probably draft capital from would be a team like the Wizards, but the Wizards are not going to pick up that contract because they're not going nowhere fast.
Terrible spot for him. Sorry, Tomo. You know we HOA, but
I know. But what I'm saying is, as far as what you would want to get back, you would want to get back some draft capital at this point. The players, this can come too far fetched. What type of players you going to get back? Not
laughing at you, bro.
I was trying to. Okay, but I was trying to stay away from that, J-Mo. I wasn't trying to bring that up.
Oh, I didn't even peep. I swear that's not why I laughed. I laughed because it is.
Okay, so what Joe say? Jimmy Butler has been suspended for 7 games for multiple instances of conduct detrimental to the team over the course of the season, particularly last several weeks. He got suspended because of that post game conference. That's what it
Did what
was.
you just played that
Yeah,
clip.
that's exactly why he got suspended for several games. But where I was going with it was as far as like draft capital, that's one of the things you want to get back for a player that's what, he's 35 now. He's basically on the, some would say he has his prime past him.
He's definitely past his prime.
So it's not like you're gonna get back a prime player for that. Like I mean, LA already made their deal with the Nets, so you probably could have swindled the Lakers out of something for Jimmy Butler, maybe. But like I said, the teams that are down at the bottom, you don't want to send them there because all it's going to do is be a contract buyout. Then again, a team like the Wizards, well, they rebuilding, so they wouldn't do that. I don't know. Sacramento might be a good play.
I don't know if I like Sacramento either. Him and DeRozan the same player.
It depends on you send DeRozan to Miami.
I don't think they're gonna do that. They just extended him 3 years. I mean, I now get granted. Yes, it's the same organization that just extended the coach and fired him in the same year. Yes, I get it, but the player's a little different.
They might. They said, "Oh, Joe out here. Okay, Joe out here pulling a Davis Shuff. The Miami Heat are actively looking for trades for him." Well, I think. What about the Rockets?
Rockets cool. I think the Rockets is cool. I don't know who they give up though. Would they give up you can't give up a Jalen Green because he's young. That's what I see. Joe agree with me on Golden State, and I do like J-Mo. J-Mo brought up Memphis. I do like Memphis actually. I think Memphis is a really good fit for Brett. But do they give up them young pieces? Do they give up maybe a Jake LaRavia, a Santi Aldama, Marcus Smart, something? I don't know. Well, Marcus Smart not really young, but I don't know who they. That's the tricky part in this for me is what the Heat gets back. Like I said, my pick would be Golden State too. I don't know what they get back.
I think you tag a young player with an expiring contract and maybe a draft pick. That might be their best bet if you go to one of those teams like Golden State or maybe what was it, Memphis? Marcus Smart.
Memphis. I said even Milwaukee. I wouldn't even be mad at Milwaukee.
Who Milwaukee gonna give up though? I like their core right now. I mean, even though they haven't been winning games, they found a way to win the in-season tournament. And then you pair him with that would be a nasty big three. That would be though. Him, Giannis, and Dame.
Yeah, I like that. You don't get Drew Holiday.
I don't see Pat Riley doing that
though. In Jimmy because Jimmy's older, but you basically received Drew Holiday kind of back. With less shooting, because Drew Holiday is a way better 3-point shooter in my opinion than Jimmy. But you get the defense, the perimeter defense with Jimmy. J-Mo said I was thinking about it too. But Chris Middleton, I don't know if they want Chris Middleton because the injury history, man probably been out more games than he played. That's the only issue with that one.
They better off getting Bradley Beal. You doing that? You better off getting Bradley Beal. At least you're gonna have some instance of trying to sell some tickets or Bobby Portis.
I don't know if Milwaukee give up Bobby Portis though. I do like that for Miami, but it's just will Milwaukee get that up? Maybe for Jimmy because they feel like they can get a ring with that.
And he don't have a no trade clause, so that's cool too. I mean, honestly, they can send him anywhere they want. Kuminga for Jimmy, I don't see Golden State
giving up Kuminga.
Now, if you could find a way to put Draymond in the deal,
I don't see Golden State giving that up either because then there's like no point in giving up going for Jimmy if you're gonna break up Steph and Draymond.
I mean, they done already broke up Steph and Clay. I'm with you, Ty. You see, I'm trying to go out west. I'm naming a lot of teams out west. They keep going back east with it. I really see it's going to be a shocker, but I see it probably happening because of the suspension. They like, all right, and Joe said it, they actively looking for trades. I'm going to say the Kings are on my radar. Now that you said the Warriors, I'm going to agree with you on that one. I probably see Minnesota randomly making a phone call, and I'm going to stick with Houston. Those are my 4 teams.
I like Minnesota. Minnesota, I think, is a very good destination, and I think they got pieces they can give up. I like Minnesota.
Hopefully that front office can whatever they went through the first go. Yeah, the first time the first go round, I guess it was Cat maybe when he was there. He probably just didn't like.
Nah, I guess Jimmy probably rubbed people the wrong way, and like you said, they weren't going to pay Jimmy, which was crazy to me. So got his way out of there.
It's either that or he get bought out. Wherever he goes, he gonna get bought out. And then he can pick his own destination. This is the Send him to Utah. It's not like get him out of here.
Stop it.
Now you better relax before the Pacers make a phone call. Then now he on your team. What I'm saying. Now we go from one. Oh, they like navy and yellow, so I'm gonna just say we're gonna go to black and yellow. We're gonna go to the AFC North. Hold up. He's from Texas, so Houston and Dallas are on the board, but I'm telling you, don't rule out Phoenix. I'm not ruling out Phoenix.
Tomo said Houston. That was his pick.
Yeah, I'm not ruling out.
I think you said Houston and did you say Phoenix? Yeah, you said for Bill.
Because he threw a bill. I didn't want to start my soliloquy by that because everybody knows how I feel about Bradley Beal, so I wanted to kind of ease into it. But J-Mo beat me to the punch.
Yeah.
So I could see them doing that because I think the relationship with the Suns is kind of wearing thin with Bradley Beal too. But he still got that no trade clause. So
yeah, he ain't going to the Heat if Jimmy not there.
Exactly, unless he just really won out of Phoenix. But he can either one out or he can pull what George Pickens did in his press conference too. So I don't know. We're gonna move on to the next subject, and we're gonna talk about one of your favorite teams to rag on in the chat, or one of your favorite teams that like to call you out in the chat.
My bad.
You got some water?
I got 2 for them.
Well, if you don't know, the Steelers found a way to give up the division. The Steelers also found a way to make it into headlines from R2L as far as coaching. The Steelers found a way to have a backup quarterback controversy that they dealt with kind of easy, but it was a lot of speculation around who should start. The Steelers find ways to have their wide receivers always make it in the media. I mean, outside of him crashing out in that Browns game, like George Pickens, bro, that was just a flat out crash out. I'm sorry, kids, that was a crash out. They could have won, and he chose to fight. Instead, all right, that's neither here nor there. But with the season basically over, last game of the season, you can knock out one of your rivals because they play the Bengals. You can also still fight for the number 1 spot in the division, right? They still got a chance.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we play first, so we have to lose. If we lose, then if we win, they have no shot. We play first.
And y'all got the Browns.
Yep.
Who find a way.
Man, if we don't pick off Bailey Zappi twice, I'm gonna be upset.
Who finds a way, and we're gonna talk about the point spread on that game because that is insane.
That
is insane. But the question is, should the Steelers consider starting Justin Fields? And I'm only asking that because my friend here told me a little something.
It seemed like you and Russ weren't on the same page on that interception against the Chiefs. How does that happen, and what do you guys do to address it?
You said me and Russell wasn't on the same page?
Yeah, well, that's what he said.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Or is that what you said?
That's what he said.
Okay.
How do you just address that?
All right, thanks, guys.
He about to crash out. He about to crash out on Russ. You don't do that to the king of the YNs.
I love that we do this show on YouTube. I'd have got fired anywhere else.
Oh my God.
He said, did you say that or did he say that? That right there. It's just like undertone. Like the girl in the back started laughing because she already know what's about to happen.
Yeah, the Cam Newton. That when he hit the when he had to go down to school, he hit the Cam Newton. Say less.
And the reporter seemed like he broke bro code because he was like, did he say that or did you say that? And he was like, nah, he said that. And he was like, okay. Like, all right.
Pull this team ass back up.
Then he had the nerve to say, so how do you feel about that? I'm going to show you how I feel about that. Oh, man. So I'm going to give you a backstory, right? I'm in a Cowboys group chat on X or Twex, as I call it, because some people still call it Twitter, right?
Me.
And they said, yep, there we go. And they were like, you know what? We need some of this YN energy in the NFL because it's too soft right now. And I said, are you sure? Because if you get about 11 George Pickens on the field, you might not finish a game, bro. They're like, no, we need that because everybody out here, basically the fashion and all of that. And I was like, I'm telling you, you get 11 George Pickens on the field, you're not finishing a football game. And that comment right there is why. Because at least he didn't cuss because he could have pulled a Russ because you know how Russ post games was in the locker room. So back to the question though: should the Steelers consider starting Justin Fields? I'm asking you honestly, but why? Is Russ doing that bad of a job? Is it that horrible that Russ can't finish it out? Because early in the season we had this debate and Mark was on here, and it kind of was the offense isn't moving as efficient as it was with Russ. I mean, with Justin Fields. Like, yes, he was making plays, but at least Russ was putting the ball down the field. Wait, see, Joe, you can't be doing this, Joe. Trey Lance expected. All right. Trey Lance expected to start. You might you early for me, but if you ask me, look, George Pickens when he had Justin Fields on the field, it was 41 catches, 574 yards, and then he scored a touchdown, and that was in the 9 games they played together. In the 7 games, he got 32 catches, 537 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that's 7 games with Russ. I mean, the production is almost about the same. However, you're fighting for the division at this point. Like, what are we doing here? You already seen what the Atlanta Falcons just did by benching Kirk Cousins. Like, technically, Kurt wasn't playing as well as Russ is, but if you ask me, and I see you over there like, yeah, go ahead and start him so we can get this division. But you ask me, you might as well just finish the season out and then see what you got in Justin Fields next year, unless you plan on bringing Russ back with an extension. So for me, I don't even think it should be a consideration.
Yeah, I agree. There's no why? Like you said, why? Why would you do that? It's not like Russ is playing bad and he lost his job. Now, granted, he hasn't looked the same with George Pickens on the field, but that receiving core isn't good to where you can miss a guy like George Pickens and still pick it up. So that was kind of to be expected. But yeah, I just don't see no purpose in starting Justin Fields again. You benched him. You probably already ruined his confidence. Hopefully you didn't for the sake of Justin Fields, but it's too late to turn back. You gotta keep it pushing now. You made a decision. You got to finish out the season with that decision. And like you said, Pickens has looked better with Russ because Russ likes to give his receivers chances downfield, and that's what George Pickens is really good at, making plays downfield. So I would just stick with Russ. It's too late for the whole going back to Fields thing. It just makes no sense to me. Now, if George Pickens does the Russ like he did Paul Swelling when he played for Georgia Tech, where he grabbed him by the face mask and threw him into the wall, then you got to start Justin Fields. But I think Pickens might compose himself, and he'll be good. You just stick with Russ, and you just let it play out. And Ty is hilarious in the comments.
You said get Trubisky back?
Nah, he said all the Steelers care about is going over 500 and getting emotional receivers.
Now, it's not my fight, but I know my brother Dave is somewhere saying, and there's been a running meme on all social medias. I know you can probably find it anywhere where they said Mike Tomlin got the 9 wins and said, all right, it's time to go on vacation. And it's
hey, man, bro, it's looking like job's done. Like Ty said.
It don't matter. Mission accomplished. So it's crazy that they got a running joke about a winning record with this coach. But I mean,
because they haven't won a playoff game in 8 years if they don't win one this year.
And the way it's going, that's why you don't even this question here. I mean, granted, we work, but I know if George Pickens see this question, he gonna hit us with the same. He's like, did y'all say that or did he say that? And I'm gonna do exactly what the reporter said. He said that. So go get Russ. Because the way he walked off, it reminded me of the meme that Bibby always put in the NFL checks. Like, I know you, it's okay, girl. He's like, where's your invisible juice now, Beeman? Because that's what's going on in that locker room. They got to find a way. And you going back to field is just going to mess up the chemistry. Because now week 6, 7, you ask this question, we might have a conversation. But this season's over. You're going into the playoffs. You got to look for bigger and better things. Now, if you want headlines like the Dallas Cowboys and what Joe said right here, then you can do that. Because if you want to waste a 4th-round pick and wait till the last game of the season to start them, that's okay. Because I don't know. Now, let me ask you this before we roll into the next topic. Do you think the Cowboys starting Trey Lance is a little too late?
No, this is an audition. This is what it looked like to me. He's just auditioning the teams to see who's gonna maybe try to. I don't. He was drafted. What was he drafted? Coach? Or not that word draft. He was drafted the 2020 draft. So I think he is up. So he's probably going to be a free agent. This is just that, like I said, this is just an audition for him.
Yeah,
Season's over. See what he got.
Honestly, I don't know why. I could see the pettiness in the franchise waiting this late because they already seen them in the preseason. But if you ask me, I would have started Trey Lance both of the Eagles games because I know what Cooper Rush looks like when it's time to play the Eagles. And right after they got spanked for the second time this year, they asked Trey Lance. It was like, I mean, not Trey Lance. They asked Cooper Rush. They said, "Are the Eagles just your kryptonite? Because you play good against, well, you play decent against everyone else, but when you see the Eagles, it's just like everything goes bad." And he kind of joked and it was like, maybe. I was like, it's not a laughing matter because the first time you played them, the team went undefeated with you, and then you didn't throw interceptions, and then you threw 2 the first time you played the Eagles. Then the second time,
they did him a favor not doing that.
But what you mean?
They did Trey Lance a favor by not having him audition against the Eagles.
I mean, you could play the Eagles, then you can play the Bengals. Like, just go ahead and tank it out.
No, I don't think you get what I'm saying. So what I mean is they gave him an audition by not putting him out there with no CD against a defense like the Eagles because he may look bad. So that was actually a favor by Trey Lance.
You sure? Because he went out there with no receiver in the preseason and threw 5 interceptions, so you might still do that.
Hey, man. Hey, look, you have a better shot of not doing that against the Commanders than doing that against the Eagles. No shot to Commanders fans.
No, I'm going to take the shot for you. You're right. Because Lattimore not playing.
See, look, bro. Hey, don't taint my point.
I'm only saying that because I got money on the game. That's the only reason. I got to say something. And I'm Decorius. That's another guarantee. I just want you to remember that.
Wait, he did that today? I missed it?
No, it wasn't a day. I think it was 2 days ago. It was 2 days ago.
I still missed it. I can't believe he did
guaranteed that they were going to beat the Cowboys again. And we got a bet on it. So it's recorded too. So I'm waiting. My Cash App is still there. Now, NFL season, NBA season, we all have expectations. We all set goals for our teams and different teams that we see and different players. Some teams might want to run it back. Who is the most disappointing NFL team this season?
This question was so easy. The Jacksonville Jaguars. And it's not even close. Man, they went on the slide to end the year, but you could say, hey, Trevor Lawrence got hurt. They had to turn wasn't Mac Jones. He wasn't there yet. Was he? Oh, it was Mac Jones. I think Mac Jones was there.
What, this year?
No, last year.
Last year. Was it last year?
Was it? No. I forgot who their backup quarterback was last year. It could have been Mac Jones.
Mac was this year, right?
I can't remember.
Hold on.
No. He got traded in the offseason. You're right.
Yeah, it was.
I can't remember who their backup was. Was it CJ Beathard? I don't know. Either way, it wasn't Trevor Lawrence. They went on a slide. Excuse me. But you could tell, like, they were still a good. Would I say that? I don't know. All right, let me get to my point. My point is this. They still barely missed winning the division, and I went into the year thinking you draft Brian Thomas, you get Gabe Davis, you let go of Calvin Ridley, you improve the offense. You should have a shot to beat the Texans. And the Texans, to me, while they looked good, I thought me and Joe had the same thought, and it kind of was the truth. We didn't think that they were that good, and they don't look that good. And I thought the Jags had a chance to win a division. And the way they played, like, it looked like they found ways to lose ball games. And it was just so disappointing to me. Trevor Lawrence looked terrible. Did not look good this year. Defensively, bad. It was just a bad year for the Jags, and I was highly disappointed in their performance.
Now, some would say the easiest pick would be the Jets. But then I can't say it's the Jets because everyone's caveat after picking the Jets was it depends on Aaron Rodgers' health. So they will always say the Jets could win this division if Aaron Rodgers stays healthy. The Jets could do this if Aaron Rodgers does that. So I can't say, I mean, it is the easiest pick, but we always had that caveat. So for me, the team that let me down this year was the Denver Broncos. No, I'm joking. It's the Cincinnati Bengals. I didn't think the Broncos was going to be good. So if you want to say they let me down, it's more so they let me down because they proved me wrong. But I'm going with this. Yeah, I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals. And coming into this season, it was just like, okay, you got to pay your receiver at some point. You got to pay T. Higgins this year because I know Jamar Chase I think his is next year. So it's like, all right, we know what this core can do, and we already know what it is when Joe Burrow is healthy. Can this be the year that you all get back on point and can you all go out there and win games? And if you look at how the season's played out, they look bad early, but all the stats are proving that this should be a winning team. Like, yes, they are. They do got a chance to fight for a playoff spot, and yes, they do have a record above 500 at this point.
They 8-8.
They at 500. But with these numbers, everyone's saying this is a 13 win team. Like, what's going on here? And the defense is one of their pain points. And it's like, okay, I know what division you in, but you should be able to play better than one of those teams in your division, the Browns. So your defense should be able to find ways to step up. And then their schedule, they had opponents that they should have beaten. They got shocked by a young rookie who's been shaking the table for a lot of teams. But that was one of those games where they could have turned their season around early. There was a few other games. If it came down,
they missed that field goal.
Then the field goal, then the Lamar Jackson throw. Oh my goodness, that was a beautiful throw. And then you think about it, it comes down to a botched punt with the Dallas Cowboys, and that could have changed your season because you almost lost to Cooper Rush. So there were so many games where you lost at the last second, but you also found a way to squeak it out, and that kind of is like disappointing to me, especially with Joe Burrow being one of the top three. I say wide receivers, top three quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, man. The Jags was super disappointing. Kind of segues into the next topic
with that Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna go right into it. So you're gonna go down to Orlando or Vegas. I think they're in Vegas now, and you're gonna try to get in one of these clubs. And the bouncer gonna check the list, and they're gonna be like, "Hey, he's cool, but not you." Pro Bowl lists come out every year. There's a lot of people with a lot of great stats and a lot of voters that go up there. It's kind of almost like the MVP award. And you're like, wait, how did you make it? But he didn't make it. So those numbers are there. So Carl, who you got as the biggest Pro Bowl snub?
Brian Thomas Jr. of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm sorry. Jerry Jeudy had a good year. Zay Flowers had a good year. Brian Thomas had a better year than both of them. I think he had more yards. I believe he had more touchdowns. Brian Thomas Jr. is the snub of the Pro Bowl, in my opinion. Obviously, we all know who the number one receiver was for the AFC. Obviously, it's Chase. But Brian Thomas should have got in either over Zay or either over Jerry Jeudy. I choose Jerry Jeudy because Zay is my dog. But he should have got in either over one of them. That's one. Now, I have another one. I'm going to let you say yours because I don't want to steal yours if it's yours. But I do have another one.
I'm surprised you went there. I'm going here, man. I'm going to I don't want you to show your shirt. I'm going to Detroit. Kirby Joseph.
Yep, I would have stole it. That's why I ain't said it. Yep.
I'm surprised because I had a backup and Ty said it, so I was like, let me just go with the one.
That was my backup, just in case yours was Brian Thomas.
Okay, FJA, man, we still got it. So yeah, now I'm going Kirby Joseph, man. There's no way you got a safety out here that got 9 picks, 77 tackles, and 12 pass deflections. So it's like, and on a defense where they said they have no pass rush. Remember after Hutchinson went down, they said this team can't even get to the quarterback. So you still got a secondary that's making plays and a safety that's playing safe. How did he not make it in? Now, I'm not mad at some of the people that's there, but again, I'm going Kirby Joseph, man. I think they're just hating on Detroit at this point.
But the thing is, right, Brian Branch got in. No diss to Brian Branch. I love Brian Branch. He's a great player. He's probably the better of the two safeties because he's more versatile. But like, how do you have Brian Branch in, but not have Kirby? And Kirby he leads the league in interceptions. He's like you said, he has 9 of them on a defense that has been beaten and battered. He's one of the mainstays of that defense. Not to mention, he had 2 last night, and against the Packers when Brian Branch got ejected, he had a pick 6. Kirby Joseph was also a big one for me. I don't understand how he didn't get in. I thought for sure he was in.
And I think when it comes down to voters, it's kind of like what we was talking about backstage as far as, with MVP votes. They were like, well, we already got 1 Detroit Lion on the team. Do we need 2? And it's like, why is that your mindset? Just give the person who deserves it the award.
Pro Bowl stinks anyway, and hopefully the Lions don't have their players in the Pro Bowl anyway. So, oh my Lord.
What happened?
This quarterback is amazing. He just broke an 80-yard run to cut this game to 2 points.
Okay. Now I want to address one. Oh, Brian. Yeah, nah, you on point, Carl. I didn't want to say Brian Thomas because he's the reason I lost in my fantasy league. So I kind of did what the actual voters did. I mean, if I had a vote, I would have voted him in the Pro Bowl because of that. And shout out to Mark, he had him on his team, so I know exactly what Brian Thomas was capable of. But a lot of people saying the quarterback. A lot of people got an issue with the quarterback. They saying Baker got snubbed too. How you feel
I know
about that?
Jared Goff got in. I'm
It's
assuming.
it's Golf, Daniels, and Sam Darnold.
Yeah, I was about to say assume Sam Donald. No, I don't think he got snubbed. I'm
You don't
sorry.
think so?
Baker had a good year, but he didn't get snubbed. Baker had a downfall when, well, not granted, a lot of people would. But he had a drought when Mike Evans and Chris Godwin were both hurt at the same time.
I mean, he got
It's
a
hard to put
72.
Baker over any of those three guys you named.
If it comes to stats,
You got JD as a rookie who's breaking a bunch of
I ain't saying him. Like, I'm cool with him. I think some people are.
Sam Darnold's 14-2 on the Vikings. And he's had a good year. He's actually had a good year. Now he's had some turnover issues a little bit. He had a little stretch, but he's actually had a good year. And then it's hard to not put him over Jared Goff. Jared Goff, he had a perfect game. Like literally no incompletions. And the Lions are 14-2 because of the offense.
I hate that. I hate that NFL.
It's hard to make. I get it. Baker's had a good year. Baker is good. It's just hard to make a case over any of those three. It's just one of them things where you had a good year. It's just you got squeezed out.
Baker got him, and I'm talking Sam Darnold. That is, Baker got him with yards. Let's see, 35 touchdowns. I don't got this. So Baker got 39. Let's see, 7 games. And this is without some targets. So he's talking about, and I don't do passer rating because I know
I like passer rating. I don't do QBR.
It's QBR. That's the one. You're right.
I like passer rating. Passer rating 158.3.
Yep. So I mean, if you go down to stats, that's why most people are probably saying he's getting snubbed.
Yes, but they're close. The stats are close, and the Vikings are 14-2, and the Bucks are still fighting for playoff contention.
Ty, that's a tough one.
I can't, bro. He might have better numbers, but Jaden's a rookie, and Jaden did his thing, bro. Jaden's electric. The comeback wins, the Hail Mary.
That's a lot that goes into the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, you can say, well, he won the head-to-head. Fine. That was Jaden Daniels' literal first game of his rookie year, so it's tough. I'm not saying Baker don't deserve it. It's just hard to squeeze one of them three out for Baker.
When you talk Pro Bowl, like I said, you go on the stats, and because Sam Darnold isn't supposed to be playing the way that he is, I see why people are like, you know what, we can give it to him over Baker because we've seen Baker ball out like this. Like Baker literally got a phone call one day and went to LA and won a football game. Like as a quarterback, that's some tough stuff to do.
Was that against the Raiders or the Saints?
I think it was.
I remember it was a night game. It was a Thursday night game.
Was it the Raiders? It might have been the Raiders. I can't. Chat, let me know.
Like you said, it was in LA. It was a Thursday night game. I just can't vividly remember who it was. But like, I just can't call it a snub because it's just tough. It's tough. It is. I'm sorry. I like Big. Big had a good year, but the numbers are close. The Vikings are absolutely astronomically ahead of the Bucks at 14-2 is tough.
J-Mo, you on to something though. I think if Godwin don't go down and then Evans don't miss the time that he did, I can definitely see him being in the MVP conversation. Like some people still have him in it. He's not in the top 3. You know, we already know who they got winning it because they just want to give it to him. But I'll start that debate another day. What you say, J-Mo?
Me and Tomo talked about that backstage about how he got better numbers than Josh Allen, but nobody talking about it.
Sam Darnold's nice.
Or numbers similar to Josh Allen, I should say that, but nobody talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, because Josh Allen don't have the weapons. You see how the story? You see how the goalposts? Where the goalposts get at? Where's that?
When Lamar won the MVP, didn't have the weapons. People still question if he could play quarterback with 36 touchdowns and 6 picks and a number 1 overall seed.
He had a whole quote. What is it? Quarterbacky?
Yep. And that was years later. That was last year? That was before I think the 49ers game or something like that.
I'm just saying. I'm surprised he didn't put that on a t-shirt. Ma's a humble guy, man. I'd have made a t-shirt out of that one.
I'd have definitely made some money off her.
Yeah, see, that's the only reason. Like Sam Darnold's not supposed to be here. Now, Sam Darnold is one of the underdogs. I think he can win. Can he win comeback player of the year?
What did he come back from?
The Jets.
The Panthers, but I mean, he didn't
Damn.
come back from nothing. He was just he's.
I mean, come on now.
I mean, he didn't play well,
I mean,
but the nature of the award normally is for somebody coming back from an injury.
they
Joe
gonna give it
Burrow's
to
going
Aaron.
to come back player of the year.
Okay, all right, yeah, no, because they can't give it to Aaron Rodgers. Joe Burrow got better stats,
Oh,
and they
yeah,
got a better
they
record.
definitely can't give it to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, no. He came back and then he ruined the whole franchise. Anyway, underdogs. Every week we make picks. We offer the spread and we choose who we want to be the underdogs or who we think is actually going to cover, or just flat out win the game. Underdog winners.
Tomo, go first because I still don't have one.
All right, so Carl, when I said it earlier in the episode and I alluded to it in a few of the segments. I'm looking at it like, well, Baltimore versus the Browns with a 20-point spread. You got that one. I'm just going off of the ones that I've seen. I'm not making my pick just yet. But you got, 10 points in the NFL. That's Green Bay over the Bears. Then you got, where's that 14 point? Okay, Tampa Bay and the Saints. See, all these are nice games to choose from. 20 points?
The answer is yes.
20. Wait, I didn't even see it. What happened? Random, but didn't Sam Donald?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Hey,
Mike White started, I think. Yes. The answer is yes.
J-Mo, he beat the Cowboys after that game. Man, I'm tired of too many negative moments in history, man. All right, man. Let's get back to the underdogs, man. Sheesh. Now, we going off of the nature of choosing the spread. The easiest one would be y'all and the Browns. I might pick the Browns to find a way to lose it by 17.
Hold on. I thought the nature of this was to pick the winner, not against the spread, but to actually win the game.
Now, I always do that. I always find the one with the points and be like, I found a game where you need to take the points. But I'm going off of the actual find the winner. You know what, man? Since I already got money on it, I'm gonna go with the Cowboys over the Commanders. They got to find a way to win it. The Commanders are already in the playoffs. They're fighting for seeding at this point. Dallas literally has nothing to play for except for to spoil their dreams. And I'm gonna just go fandom on this one. I'm gonna pick the Cowboys.
All right. You know what? This one I'm about to pick. Because I'm tired of the Titans. I'm going with the Texans. I don't care that they playing a backup. I'm tired of the Titans. The Titans have just been finding ways to lose games. I would have picked the Jags, but the Jags also been finding ways to lose games. I'm going to just go with the Texans, man. Davis Mills, I'm pretty sure Joe Mixon not playing either, so it's probably going to be Damian Pierce.
No, he might play. He need 8 yards to get to get 1K.
So he's gonna get like 3 carries, get his incentive, and get out. So we're gonna stick with Damian Pierce. I think those guys get the job done. The defense probably gonna play. So then they get some turnovers, whether it's Mason Rudolph, whether it's Will Levis. Get some turnovers. You stop the run. You stop the Titans. Give me the Texans to beat the Titans.
Okay. And Ty, I would have went there, but last time I had the Patriots beating the Bills found a way to squeeze out the win when they shouldn't.
Hey, man, last time they played, I heard of a new thing called an arm punt.
That's where that
Never
started.
heard of that before.
That's where it started. You got Vikings over Detroit. That's going to be a good one.
That's cool.
Yeah. Another underdog that some people are probably throwing out there because they don't know who's actually going to play in this game is probably the Giants over the Eagles. I mean, they already lost their number 1 pick, so they may try to find a way to win that game.
I feel you because Drew Lock is actually playing well, and I'm pretty sure Malik Neighbors and Tyrone Tracy's going to play, and they actually both had 1,000 yards, which shout out to them. That's a huge accomplishment. The Eagles already been playing with Kenny Pickett, which he might not even play. It might be Tanner McKee. But that receiver core not playing. AJ nor Devontae not playing. Maybe Giants not a bad pick.
Still got Jahan. Who said
that receiver core not playing? So maybe that's a good pick because they had Jahan and Johnny Wilson dropping footballs.
With Hurts,
he's dropping footballs regardless. That was his thing. That was the big thing with him coming into the draft was that he drops footballs. I like Kenneth Gainwell though. He's probably gonna be the lead back for the Eagles. Him and Will Shipley. I do like that Giants pick, though. I'm not mad at that. They better not win, though, but they already screwed themselves over anyway.
Yeah, they did it in they put up like 40-something points. It almost went
45, I think.
Go overtime. Like the Colts, another team, that let a lot of people down with their fantasy picks. So, all right, let's roll over into our last words right quick. Uh, Before, let me address just two things.
Do your thing.
Cooper Cup. I haven't been on here for the last few weeks, so I haven't been able to say anything as far as fantasy football. But Cooper Cup, you had 3 weeks where you only got 5 points. Shout out to FFC. But I should have traded Cooper Cup in week 6 when I had the chance. I still made it to the Super Bowl in one of my leagues, and
Who
that's
was you gonna get for him? Who was you gonna get for him?
It was DJ Moore and it was somebody else, but at least DJ Moore gave me double digits in the R2L league. So it was kind of one of those things where damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, I was about to say that might.
So, and then the Bears was finding ways to get them the football, but they were still finding ways to lose the game. So again, shout out to FFC. But Cooper Cup, you let a lot of people down. And then the upset of all upsets was the Colts playing the Giants, who were supposed to just roll over and just die. No, they put up 40 points and got somebody -3 in the league. Like, bruh, this is right after I gave Zaire his props on getting almost 200 tackles, solo tackles, and it was just like, bruh, y'all just rolled over and did that to the.
That knocked them out the playoffs. No, was that them that was in playoff contention? I think it was. Yeah, they was hunting. That knocked them out playoff contention.
Yeah. Like Drew Lock do not care. Like when it's like, oh, we got to win for something and you need to win, I got you. And Drew Lock balled out. So those were my 2 gripes. Exactly. He put on. But yeah, I want to ask you one more thing, Carl, because I know we got a few more minutes. I know we was going into our, you said Rams over Seahawks. Okay. But as far as the bowls and the playoff games, man, like, I know you got an episode coming out where you're going to do a few more recaps and previews. But how you feeling about it so far?
The bowls have been fun. I've been losing because of crazy ways, but the bowls have absolutely been fun. As Texas State North Texas, has the ball 4th and 11 deep in their own end zone territory with 12 seconds left. They don't get this. Obviously, the ball's, the game's over. They have no timeouts too, so it's tough. They're going to have to throw a Hail Mary kind of. But the bowl games have been fun. Massive underdogs have been winning games, which if I didn't have to have a record and could watch and stress-free, I would have had way more fun watching it that way, except for Michigan. Then it ruined my record. But the bowl games have absolutely been fun. The playoffs, while the first round were not close, they were absolutely blowouts. What a phenomenal quarterfinals we had. The Georgia-Notre Dame game, Georgia just absolutely wet the bed as North Texas throws a game-losing interception. Thank you, Texas State. Just go down, fool. What are you doing? Anyway. Texas State wins the ball game, so I'm now 24-17. Shout out. I can no longer. With that win, I'm automatically above 500. So I'm cool with that. Not good enough for my standards, but I'm cool with it. Hopefully next year, maybe one of our teams make a bowl game. We had to make up a bowl game for our teams to have a bowl game because neither one made it this year. It was fun. It was a fun bowl game to watch. They just didn't know they was a part of a bowl game,
and they don't know it's a continuance of that bowl game too.
But yeah, the bowls have been fun. The playoffs have been fun. I'm looking forward to the college football semifinals, which start, I believe, on Thursday. So that's 6 days away, really 5. Today's over. It's nighttime. 5 days away. But yeah, if you haven't watched, I recommend you watch. And what a phenomenal college football year we had. The storylines to teams complaining about not making the playoffs and then losing to a team that played straight backups. To another team who complained that absolutely dominated. We have storylines about how the transfer portal is ruining bowl games, which it is and it's not. Some teams getting their auditions. It's like an extra spring game, which I'm cool with. But we also had bowl opt-outs and all that before the transfer portal too. So like I said, it is it and isn't. Georgia getting upset to a phenomenal double overtime win by Texas to Penn State just absolutely looking good against Boise State and absolutely dominant against SMU. And we can't, this is what I got to say. We can't stress enough how the teams that are in the semifinal would not have been in the semifinal or contention for a natty if we didn't have this format. Texas wouldn't have made it. Ohio State definitely wouldn't have made it. Penn State definitely wouldn't have made it. And Notre Dame may have made it. But that would have been contingent on how the college football committee felt about a one-loss Notre Dame losing to Northern Illinois versus conference champions. So I absolutely love the format. I do. Now, if you want to argue it should be 8 instead of 12, have at it. But I'm cool with the 12. But to those saying they need to redo the seeding and stuff, no, they don't. The reason why Clemson was a 12 seed is because they didn't think a group of 5 school would be good enough to crack the top 10. So that threw a monkey wrench in the whole plan. The plan was to give the group of 5 champion at least a shot. But when you have a 3-win Clemson team win the ACC and you have a 1-loss Boise State team win the Mountain West with their 1 loss being number 1 ranked Oregon, it's kind of hard to argue that Boise State shouldn't be 1 through 4 and Clemson should be 1 through 4. So it's just first year things that they ain't expect to happen. Just deal with it. But I love how it played out so far. And I'm gonna ask you, have you enjoyed the bowls? Like any bowl games you caught?
As a off and on NCAA player, and we gotta share PSNs after this. I definitely enjoyed it, and more so for a Cowboy fan who's been hearing the Ashton Genty noise and chaos about, oh, we need to go get him, or hey, we need to go get this guy. And I'm gonna really say this though, Carl. I'm gonna give you some more flowers on air because CTC actually helps me watch some of these games a little bit more because now I know the players to look out for, and it helps with the trash talk within the college football chat too. I mean, outside of our Chipotle, but I mean, outside of our bowl, I ain't gonna say the name of the bowl because they got to sponsor us because we already got this thing.
Hey
going.
man, I would love it. Yeah, I know.
So,
I love it.
Yeah, so look, I actually got some upstairs, but outside of that though, just tapping in with your episodes and then the conversations within the chats and stuff, it helps me be in tune with it because my first thing anytime with college football was always like, man, how do y'all keep up with all these players? And once you find a real resource, and make sure y'all go subscribe to CTC, the links below. Once you find a real good resource that helps you out and understands each of these players and will actually respond back to you on Twitter and have conversations with you in the IG chats, I'm telling you, it helps a lot. So yeah, and then the entertainment alone has been good. Like the Texas-Arizona game, like I went out to eat.
You got to say Arizona State.
You're right. Arizona State. I'm sorry. Jane Daniels would there. That's why I probably messed the name up.
Still ain't forgiven for what we did in 2019, bro.
So watching that game, I'm like, I know Joe over here sweating bullets because ain't no way Scatterboo out here supposed to be doing this because the way they came back, that was one. Oregon was kind of a letdown because it's like, man, y'all are getting blown out early, but it is what it is. Y'all in the Big Ten. I ain't too mad at it. And with Penn State, another Big Ten team, I know Ty was somewhere watching it. And like I said, that's my team on NCAA. I'm only saying it on air because that's my team on NCAA. Outside of that, they can kick rocks. But it was good to watch. And I was also more so scouting for some of these players because I wanted to see what that wide receiver was going to do from Ohio. I wanted to see that pass rush.
Ohio State. You got to say Ohio State. There's a University of Ohio.
You see what I'm saying? This is why you got to have CTC because he's going to make sure you on point. Because the only thing I don't like is MSU. So
that's fine.
They owe me a bowl. That's the only reason.
They good with me.
Yeah, and I wanted to see Notre Dame play because I know how you feel about Notre Dame, so I just wanted to see how that game was going to actually pan out. So
I gotta give them respect, man. I really do. It sucks, but I do, and I gave them that respect. I just figured I didn't think Georgia would give them a kick return at a halftime, and I also didn't think that they would fumble with like 12 seconds left at the end of the half to give up a touchdown. Like, come on, other than that, the game, whatever. I gotta talk about it on my show anyway.
Yeah. I was gonna stop you because I was gonna address this one comment too. Ty, a lot of people were saying that Penn State was playing a little dirty in that game, but I ain't gonna say too much. It was like this actually for what some people say Genty sold. Some people found it like, nah, he actually played a good game for all the stuff that he had to go through. Like some of that offensive line was just like, hey, y'all can go back there, and Genty was still trying to make things shake. So.
I mean, it's tough. Penn State is a really good Big Ten team. They're a really good defensive team. I knew it would be tough for Genty to go crazy. Now, if Genty had an O-line against Penn State, it might look a little different.
Yeah. I don't think it hurt his draft stock as much as people think it did, but, I mean, that just depends on how you was watching the game. But
Got your play Minnesota, Virginia Tech that goes nowhere.
All right, so I know you got a game coming up, but, I think it's going to actually pan out to be a good one. I think Penn State makes it to the championship at this point. I hope they do.
I can't speak.
I know you got an episode, so I'm just saying it. I'm just saying it out loud. I hope Penn State makes it. Actually, what would be good for the chats is Penn State versus Texas. Like that would be good for the chats. I would like to see Carl and Ty go at it. I mean, Joe and Ty. Yeah, Joe and Ty go at it.
Tune in to CTC. That's all I gotta say about that.
There we go. So let's get our last.
Shout out Jeremiah Smith though, best freshman in the country. I think he solidified it on Friday or Saturday. When was the bowl game? The championship game was New Year's, so it was Wednesday. Jesus Christ, I was off. It was Wednesday. I think he solidified it. It don't feel like Friday today. I ain't gonna lie to you. With the game, like the playoff games being on Wednesday, it didn't feel like a Friday. No. But yeah, shout out Jeremiah Smith. To me, he solidified. He the best freshman in the country.
Yeah, no. That Wednesday, coming back to work on Thursday, I was like, man, is it Monday? And then everyone was talking about, yeah, the Cowboys, and they started talking about NFL games. I was like, wait, they didn't play? Hold up, we still got a whole weekend.
Still be on too.
So yeah, nah. But before I'm sorry, I keep saying the last word. Before we get into our last words, I want to say shout out to our superstar members. If you've been tuning in right now, we do have membership tiers. If you click the link below, it'll show you each of the membership tiers and each of the perks that we have. But I want to say shout out to all of our members, but a special shout out to our superstar members. Shout out to Worm, Joe, Dave, myself, Teddy, Cardo, Coach, Vaughn, Lamar, Giovanni, and Chris. And one of these viewers right here. So if you click the link, telling you get a lot of perks. Shout out to Lambo Anlo on the intro, and shout out to Ed Han for the logo.
Yes, sir. Definitely shout out them, man. We getting final words.
Yep, there we go.
Final words, man. Michigan State, let's beat Jake Diebler in Ohio State. Game tips off in I say 1 to 5 minutes. I don't know if it's gonna tip off immediately at 8. But man, this is a big game for us. Ohio State normally be giving us problems, even when I feel like we're the better team than Ohio State.
The Ohio State?
I don't understand why they add the, but whatever. I don't like them anyway. We're rivals, so they're just gonna be Ohio State. But especially when we play them at their house, it kind of gets ugly sometimes. But even last year, we were the better team than Ohio State, and they hit a game-winning crazy corner 3 by Bonner, the transfer from Baylor. Hit a crazy 3 to win the game against us last year, so we need revenge for that. But I do like this MSU team. I've said it before. When we come into seasons with expectations, we don't look as good as the expectations are. But when we come in under the radar, we're not really expected to do much. I think we were picked 5th to be placed 5th in the Big Ten. That's when we have our best years for real. That's when we make them Final Fours. That's when we make them natty games or the Elite 8, something like that, as Virginia Texas blocks a field goal. That's when we do our best. So big game for us here. We're ranked 18th in the country. We didn't even get that far last year, or that high, I should say, last year with all those expectations. When PSU wins a chip, you got it. For sure. Y'all can be on for sure. Y'all can definitely be on. I had Tony on when UConn won the Natty, so y'all definitely can be on. But it ain't going to happen. Hopefully it ain't going to happen.
Oh, yeah, Trent definitely is a PSU. My bad, Trent. Yeah,
Trent went to Penn State.
Posting every time they won. Yeah. And he was at one of the games, too. Yep. My bad.
He was at the SMU joint.
Yep.
My Pistons are currently playing the Hornets right now. I don't know the score. Let me go look at the score real quick. The score, ESPN being slow. Hold on.
Oh, you sure you want to check ESPN? Last time you did that.
Well, yeah, bro, we good now. I think that was a system overload first day. We cool. Me and ESPN cool. We down 6 though with 2:51 left. So I wish ESPN was malfunctioning, but it is what it is. Shout out my boys. We already got more wins than last year, and we are on pace to do what I said we would do. We're actually on pace to be better than what I said we would be. But I like this. I like the team. At first, I was upset, but I really thought about it. I sat with it, and I really like the team makeup this year. I like JB Bickerstaff as the coach. So I'm really happy about my Pistons. And then Ravens, let's go win the division. But even if we win the division, job not done. Job is done when we holding up that Lombardi for Lamar. And I'm dead serious when I say this. If we do win, I will cry. So let's do it. Let's get a win. Let's get a W. And please, Minnesota, let's win this bowl game so I can be 25-17.
Oh, I think that's a lot of fans. That's if you are in the NFL chat, the R2L NFL chat on Instagram. I think if any one of those teams win a Super Bowl, the chat might explode. Any team that's in the chat, I'm not even gonna say it. Just y'all. So if you say no, I know just fandom wise. Yeah, no, I'm just saying anybody in the chat, you might get one of those videos of like LeBron-esque. Not them forcing themselves to cry after they get like a record, more so them actually crying when you won with Cleveland like that. But My last words is Happy New Year. It's a new year. The NFL season is over, like I said, for some of us. I mean, you're going to watch this last game and then you're going to roll over and then look, and now you got to root for other teams, or you got to look at teams and just say, you know what, I hope they lose. So it's that time of the year. And if your basketball team is good, then you can tune in to RBO Vaughn and you can keep up with your basketball team. But if your basketball team is bad, like that one back there, you could just watch and just keep hoping that Jordan Poole get 30 points a night. Just keep getting those career highs, man. Setting different goals. And Kyle Kuzma actually gets traded because I heard he requested a trade. So hopefully they actually listen. Now, that's why I also thought about Jimmy Butler. They could be a 3-team trade going on somewhere where some players might end up back in DC because, they don't want you out there in Phoenix. But I ain't going to say too much. But outside of that, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure y'all subscribe to all the shows on the network because each one of these shows brings and provides high quality content. And with that being said, if I botch this, we will be right back. But I think I got
appreciate y'all for having me too. Always gotta say that.
Oh yeah, no problem. Especially after we have our bowl. And we are out. So like I said, if I botch this, Joe, Dave, charge it to my head and not my heart. Oh, it's right.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.